What bit of you did your parents never quite understand?
All of it.
Oh, damn.
You'd have to ask them, man.
I need to, of what I feel like they don't understand. How their dynamic and their differences and them coming together, how it affected me. That's what I feel like they don't understand. I don't think they ever understand how that affected me. And that's inevitable with any dynamic, anyone's parents, do you know what I mean? But I think that's one thing they won't understand. Especially like when shit hits the fan and there's drama. You know, one will have their view, the other will have theirs. And mine's overlooked. And I better not dare criticise. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm taking sides, but hold on, no. There's a third side. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it, really. I'm without going into it.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Jay?
I think I'm going through that now, as well as the past. I think that when I was younger, my mum didn't understand my loyalty to my Trini carer, because she was mum, you know, she born me, but my carer raised me. So I think she didn't understand that loyalty and probably felt angry, guilt, shame. And when I used to see her, I would surface that. Fast forward, she probably doesn't, I think she definitely doesn't understand it but appreciates it, is my care. So my care for her, despite everything, because she's dealt with like lots of trauma, but just kind of like being, you know, me and a lot of my siblings have been through some really traumatic situations. So in our mind, we could be justified to be like proper angry, bitter, but for me to have this level of care for her, despite everything, I think she doesn't understand truly. Because she's like, shit, this guy still cares for me, he's still showing up, even though I don't feel good about myself, but also I haven't been there as a mother as I want to be. And then the other side would be kind of like, for me as a mixed race man, that identity side, which is like, because I'm very like into my black culture and roots, and I'm not so, she probably is like, why is he going to Ghana and exploring his roots? And
she feels like she's being dismissed.
Kind of, and it's obviously because I've grown up in a white society, so I've been given enough to know like, okay, that's that side.
Yeah.
And so I'm just on the other side. But on that journey, it's probably like, why is he doing it? And we have a few different conversations about kind of race and some of my thoughts on like the mixed experience and why.
Do you feel like your dad would understand more than your mum about your experience, or is it the same on both sides?
I haven't had a genuine conversation with my dad about it because I've not had the opportunity. But he's a lot more, he doesn't need to talk about it. He's just like, he just accepts me and loves me and whatever.
And do you feel like he's had similar experiences? You being someone of colour and him being, or not necessarily?
Yeah, for sure. And my relationship with my black and white side, I didn't really have one, but if I was to go on the surface of it, I was accepted more by my black side than my white side, because I met both my grandparents through their deaths. So through their deaths, I experienced them, and it was very, like, energetically just knew
different.
This felt more comfortable than this side, kind of thing. So obviously the experience like drives the ability to be like, I want to explore more of this, and there's kind of a loathing of like, I wish I had more of this love. So for my dad, it might be a case of, I don't understand why I couldn't have had him as my child. Part of me thinks now as well that he might have deteriorated because he couldn't have me or his other children.
Was there a reason why?
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, but
all I know is the system favours women when
Yeah.
it comes to children.
Yeah.
So it could be that he just wasn't given the chance as a black man. You're seen as abusive,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so with him, it's more of a case of like, it's similar stuff actually. It might be a case of guilt, shame, you know, because like when I got stabbed, he brought me Lemsip.
Oh,
So
that's his way.
his version.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's always had his version. Like he would leave gifts for me on my birthday in school and stuff like that.
Aw.
So that shows me the care was there.
Yeah.
So he probably always didn't understand like how can I, and I know when he looks at me now when I'm helping him out and stuff like that, he's like that. There's that feeling of like shame or guilt because it's like I'm looking after him and he can't do nothing. He knows it's in it.
Bittersweet.
Yeah. So again, it could be. I'm just assuming, but it could be the case of like I'm not looked after my son, but he's here looking after me, kind of thing. But I've not been able to, you know. But I don't know. So for me, it's just knowing that I can't really control the story. So it is what it is.
Exactly.
I don't know, but I would take a stab at guessing that they don't understand the way that I'm able to comprehend and deal with grief. I think, or stay calm. Actually, I know for a fact because my mum and I had this conversation yesterday, where she explained to me there was a situation that occurred where we couldn't find my daughter at one point at carnival, and my mum was just like, "I want to punch in your face." I was like, right. But she had already told me this, so I was like, yeah, I know you need to keep emphasising that part. She's like, she was shocked that she wanted to punch me in my face, like, but she goes, she felt like I didn't care in that moment, like I was just so nonchalant about it. She was just like, how do you not care? And I had to sit down yesterday, and I think it was the first time I got to explain to her, it's far from the truth, it's me not caring. I said, but I have to channel myself when certain things happen.
Or you'll fucking
And I said,
Both
because
reasons.
I know if everyone else around me is frantic and I do not remain calm, and if I panic, shit's going all over the place.
And it's difficult
So
to do
I
that.
have to, but I've now learned that I can do it. And I suppose listening to it from my mum, I'm thinking that must look insane to watch. Like you're going to someone, oh my gosh, they're missing, and they're like, okay, alright, she's missing, but I'm cool. Like, and you're thinking, but that's your job. Why are you not worried?
Yeah.
And trust me, in my head, I'm bugging out.
Yeah.
But I also
do
know,
what you
okay,
do.
don't talk to me. Like, I can't have everyone talking to me.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna do something, let me do it. If you're gonna argue with me and say, oh T, don't be the one, let me do it, I'm gonna spaz out on you. So for me, I'm like, I have to center myself and I have to stay calm. Something happened the other day. I said to my mum, listen, don't go anywhere, just please, until you hear from me, just leave it. But I said I didn't want to come off rude, but again, I had to channel myself. And because I've got other children as well, when it comes to things happening with the others, they're very receptive. They argue and fight, but the minute they know something's wrong with each other, they go into panic mode. So now I'm thinking, if I panic, and now that sets the alarm bells for them, I've now got to not only worry about what's going on, I've got to think about calming them down. Them being frantic is going to wind me up because I'm going to be like, calm down, and now I might end up having a go at them when I'm not really having a go at them, but it's like, I need you to calm down and everything's fine. But I also don't want to be lying to them. So I've just learned to do that. When it comes to death, I'm acceptant of death. Like, that's not to say I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to get upset, but I'm very much, this is part of the journey, this is what
Spiritual
happens.
with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
really,
So I feel like I've gone through so many people's deaths. I got to that point where I just said, I can't do this no more. And at that point, it was just like, I was going to funerals, I couldn't even cry. I physically could not cry.
Oh,
Because I'm
you
like,
cry when you
before,
got to-
depending on who it is.
Okay.
Like, obviously, it depends on my connection and relationship.
But is it actually sad?
No, but yes and no. It's happiness that they're in a better space than they were, but it depends on the reason. It depends on the
How they
connection.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how they've died, the timing of them
Yeah.
dying, what
It's
they
not as-
meant
yeah,
to
it's-
me.
It's not as simple.
It's
as,
like, I'll be honest, my granddad's one hits me differently, and after that, I could cry for probably the best part of like 2 years of
That's
any
what
funerals
I
I went to. Yeah. So that happened, and I think the last time I nearly cried was the day of his funeral, and I remember it clear. Like, my best friend was walking up towards like the coffin, and he looked at me, And I looked at him and I said, don't. And I literally, in the middle of the chest, I was like, I can't say it, bro. I looked at him and I went, don't do it. And he looked at me, he was like nodding, and I'm like, don't do it. Because I thought if I see him cry, that would have been a wrap for me. Yeah, because I hate seeing men cry as well, especially if it's an emotional tears. And I held it together, but for me, I felt like I cried when he died. I cried all I could cry then, if that makes sense. So when it's come to it, but after that, it's like my brain switched off. It's like I feel something, but I understand there's more to this. And a lot of the time when we get upset, it's about ourselves and how we feel. So it's not always about, are they in a better place now that they've gone? Is this better? Like, we think about us because we no longer have them here. But I'm like, if you think about it, we're always going to have them.
But the manner, I agree, the manner.
Yeah. I felt like
suicide or murder will hit me differently to someone naturally.
Right.
Exactly.
And even that, you know what I mean? That as another,
even health.
That was another death that took me, or whether it's be, you know, like if it's children, like
children,
all those things, because
Chance,
as I said, it's all how you deal with it. Like when I went through the suicidal one, it was just, you kind of think about, oh, wow, like how far have you gone with your experience to get yourself to that point where you've actually done it? Yeah. But again, depending on the relationship you have with the person as well makes a big difference. And I think we get upset about we've no longer got them here physically and that side of it, but then that's also a selfish thought to say that you'd want them to stay longer than they felt that they needed to. But with my granddad, I feel it was an injustice, because you know, when you think he went through this treatment, when he was saying stuff to you, you weren't doing what you should have been doing.